Hey Tooth Fairy, what is up? Welcome to today's episode, number 49 actually. And fun fact, last night my daughter graduated from high school, so she's officially an adult. And everyone's like, are you sad? Honestly, I was a lot more sad at her last cheer competition. I don't know why that was really hard for me, but she wasn't into high school, and I just feel like, she's over it and she's ready to move on to her next venture in college. So I'm just more excited for her. But anyways, aside from life, today we're talking about something a little bit different than my normal topic. So we're going to touch more on nutrition versus the actual strength training portion, because this is an important part when it comes to building muscle. And, this is something that comes up a lot with my clients. And the one thing that I want to chat about today primarily is why I don't recommend tracking macros. And if that's something that you like to do, good for you, more power to you. There's a lot of reasons why I don't like it for my clients. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So here we go without further ado.
Hey there! Welcome to the Lift for Longevity podcast, where our goal is to build our strongest, healthiest body. We all deserve to feel our best, but since we only get one body, we have to make sure to protect it by moving safely and with purpose to prevent pain, injury, and surgery. I'm your host, Brianne, and I'm a fit pro turned business owner and also a girl mom. I'm obsessed with educating and empowering dental pros on how to take care of their body by training efficiently and building the right muscles to prolong their career. I know you're tired of spending time working out but still dealing with annoying aches and pains, getting rid of your pain temporarily only to have it come right back just a few hours later, or feeling like you never have any energy. You wish there was a long-term solution to get rid of your pain for good. Well, I'm here to give you real-life, actionable steps that you can take today to get rid of your pain, say goodbye to quick fixes, and have energy to live a life that you love. So if you're ready to get stronger, enjoy your life outside the operatory, and have longevity in your career, grab yourself a high-protein snack and let's get to it.
Okay, so being an online fitness business owner is funny because it's like all of my fellow coaches alongside me in my business coaching program, they're all like, macros. And it's just funny because macros has been around forever. It used to be IIFYM, if it fits your macros, right? This is what bodybuilders have been using, for as long as I can remember. And now it's like this huge buzzword and everybody's doing macros and tracking macros. And it's like the new hot thing when it's not new. But that being said, it's very, I want to say, labor intensive, right? It's super tedious. Well, let me start by saying what macros are, right? Macronutrients. So protein, fat, carbs, right? Depending on whether you're looking to lose weight, build muscle, there's different percentage breakdowns of your daily calorie intake. But we're not going to go into all that because I'm just not a fan of macros. I've never tracked. I'm a mom, right? And I'm sure there's a ton of moms who track, but I don't have time for that. I'm so lazy when it comes to food. I'll literally eat a can of tuna and rice for a meal. And that's, I'm not always that lazy, but I don't like cooking. I don't enjoy cooking. I hate grocery shopping. It's just such a chore to me, and I just don't care. I'm not a big foodie. I kind of eat the same things all the time. And maybe that sounds boring, but there's so many things you can do within your everyday eating regimen. Actually, I just put together for my clients 8 breakfasts and lunch that are 5 ingredients or less, 30 grams of protein or more, because I know it's a challenge for hygienists, before work or even trying to take a lunch, right? So I try and do my part on helping them. So that's kind of why I'm talking about this, right? I have clients who like to track macros, and I'm like, are you really going to want to do this forever? Because it's a tool, right? It's exactly that. Or Weight Watchers, if you've ever done that. Yes, you count points. Okay, cool. Well, you're literally just training. It's like a mind fuck. You're going to count points for the rest of your life. That's not sustainable. And if you listen to my last podcast, I talked about sustainability and being realistic for you and your lifestyle. We have a lot going on in life. We don't need anything else to make it more challenging. And so for my goal as a coach for all of my clients, I want to make their life as easy as possible. I just had a girl, she's like, do we have to check in every week? I'm like, it's up to you. I don't want to make you overwhelmed with another thing on your plate to check in with Brianne. I'm happy to check in with you every week, right? But that doesn't work for everybody, right? If you have, doctor's appointments, you're going to the chiro. Well, if you're my client, you're not going to the chiro. But It's just like typically you're working all these hours and you've got kids and you're running around them to sports or whatever they're doing, their activities, school things, parent-teacher conferences, whatever. And then on top of it, you've got your chiro, massage, and acupuncture or PT or whatever it is you're doing. It's just like, there's not enough time in the day, right? And so like MACROS is just one of those things where like it's just another thing to check off our list, and it's very tedious and time consuming. And also like most people don't do it right. Like what if, okay, you want to grab lunch with your kids at whatever, Chick-fil-A or I don't know, like their macros aren't accurate, you know what I mean? And so it's like, yes, one day is not going to derail your entire progress. More so it's like that week that's important, but it's just, to me, I don't think it's necessary. I think for me, the most important macronutrient, of course, is protein, right? You hear protein all day, every day, and it's so easy to track without having to log it in like MyFitnessPal, which I don't like MyFitnessPal, but like, for example, a protein shake's like 25 grams of protein right there. Boom. You could have 4 protein shakes a day and hit 100 grams, which I'm not recommending that, but just for mathematical purposes, like 25 grams is so easy. Boom. You could do, I like the Barabells protein bars, or I do the One bars. There's like 20 grams in there. Boom. Like that's so easy to track, right? You can maybe use a calculator, but you don't even really need one. You can do like those Okios yogurt or the ratio ones. There's 25 grams right there, or a cup of cottage cheese. Like there's so many things you can just do to like hit your protein. That's kind of like mindless. You know what I mean? 3 ounces of chicken or turkey. Boom. For lunch. That's like 25, 30 grams right there. I always do double protein everywhere I go. Or you could do same thing for dinner, salmon, lean ground beef, whatever. So fun fact, I worked in a restaurant industry for 12 years. So like I've always just been able to eyeball portions and I know how many ounces there are. It's just like this weird thing. So for me, that's very simple, but that's not the case for everybody. So another thing that you can do is use like the hand method, like literally your hand. So your protein is going to be like the size of your palm. Okay. So like whatever, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, use that to gauge your portion size, right? Your fist, like a closed fist, is going to be your veggies, right? You could always do more too. Like me, I've always loved vegetables. If I go to a party and there's a veggie tray, like that is the first thing I go to. I just love veggies. And they're filling, you know what I mean? That was a little bit of a side note, but sorry. And then like a cupped hand would be like your carbs, right? Carbs are not bad. Carbs are necessary for building muscle. So don't steer clear of those. You just don't want to sit here and eat like, 5 cups of rice with a meal, right? Just use your one little cupped hand. And then your thumb would be like your fat. So like whatever, olive oil or avocado is probably the easiest example on that. So that's a really good measuring tool, just eyeball things. Or, not to like backtrack everything I've been saying, you could very well just track for like 3 days just to kind of see where you're at. Because if you're severely under eating, I mean, most people, I've never met a woman that's eating too much protein. Like that's very, very, very hard to do. So I wouldn't worry about like eating too much protein, but you want to make sure that you're getting some carbs in too. You can't just sit and eat protein all day and do like the keto diet, right? Protein and fat, because that'll just fuck you up. So I hope this is making sense, but if you don't want to track macros, just know like you don't have to. Like, yes, there's a lot of coaches who preach that, but again, you can't do that forever. And then there's people who do track for quite some time and then they get like so apprehensive about like stopping tracking, right? When it like defeats the whole purpose. Like the purpose is to understand your portion sizes when it comes to the different macronutrients, right? And if you're just tracking all day, every day for the rest of your life, like you're never going to really learn. Like for me, for example, like if I don't eat enough carbs one day, I'll like crave chips at night, and that's not something that's normal for me. And then I'll like think about what I ate and I'm like, oh yeah, like I didn't really have carbs with breakfast. Or sometimes I'll crave veggies at night too if I didn't have enough veggies during the day. So like, but again, I've learned this over years. So like it's possible, but it's easier to kind of identify this more or less, intuitive eating, quote unquote, because you're not sitting there obsessing over your phone and tracking every little morsel, right? Or, God forbid it's your birthday and you want to eat a piece of cake and you're like, oh fuck, that whole day's ruined. You know what I mean? Like it's just, it's not necessary, right? And that's my goal. My goal is to always make my clients' life easier, right? If you only want to work out 2 days a week, great. We're only going to work out 2 days a week. If you only want to check in with me once a week, great. Or once a month, we're only going to check in once a month, right? You don't want to sit there and track food all day, every day? Great. We're not going to do that, right? My goal is always to make your life easier, right? Always. First, well, it's to get you out of pain, but that is going to make your life easier, right? Because then you can focus on other things. You don't have to worry about that. So anyways, I'm not saying macros is like the devil or anything like that. I personally don't like it. I personally don't like it for my clients. It's not necessary. But if you want to start being a little bit more conscious of like your nutrient or your food intake, essentially, just shoot for 100 grams of protein. And then, once you get that, we can add a little bit more, maybe go to 120, right? It really depends on how much you weigh and your goals and all that. But that's a different topic for another day. And actually, I have a whole separate podcast on protein. So if you want to take a listen to that, scroll back down and head over. Because, fun fact, if you're not eating enough protein, you're not going to have energy. And I've had clients up their protein and they're like, oh my God, I have energy. I've had that happen multiple times, right? And so this is, one of them was doing Weight Watchers. And so I just know a lot of times women are under eating protein. So without ranting on too much further, my DMs are always open for you. So shoot me a message on Instagram if you have questions, or if you want, I have a little guide and it's just like a little quick fixes or like hacks with protein snacks. If you want that, just drop the word protein in my DMs and I will shoot that over to you. Well, thank you so much for listening. As always, it's a pleasure, and I will check you next week.
Thank you so much for listening in today. I hope you got a takeaway from this episode. And if you did, would you be so kind to share it with another dental pro you think would benefit from it? I know you love learning, and chances are that they do too. Also, I would love to connect with you on Instagram, so go ahead and head over to the Lift for Longevity podcast page or follow me at Built by Brianne. If you shoot me a message saying hello, I will personally respond because I love chatting with dental pros. Before you go, though, I want to let you know that I appreciate you and what you do, and I hope to chat soon. Until next time, stay strong.